All right, so let's start at the front of the mat, standing. Either bringing the base of the big toes to touch and closing the feet up behind that, or having your feet at hip width distance, whichever one you prefer. And bringing our hands into Anjali Mudra, prayer position in front of the chest. Closing your eyes. Lightly lifting the toes away from the floor. Feel that you're grounding through the horseshoe shape of the heel and across the ball of the foot. Feeling of lightness and length all the way from the heels to the crown of your head, then lightly place the toes back down again on the floor. Slightly lifting the back of the skull up and back as you bring your chin in and broaden across the collarbones. Slide the skin of your back down towards your heels. Let the hinges of the jaws release away from each other and your tongue soften in your mouth. Your brow broadening, the skin around your eyes softening. Bringing your drishti, your gazing point, inwards. And sensitizing to the feeling of the flow of your breath, following the inhale from the tips of the nostrils all the way to the lungs. And the exhale all the way back from the lungs to the tips of the nostrils. Absorbing yourself in that breathing flow. Those of you who are comfortable breathing with sound on both your inhale and your exhale breath. Now, whether you're breathing with sound or not, taking expansive inhales all the way to the top of the lungs underneath the collarbones. And as you exhale, lightly toning bandha, so a slight lift of the pelvic floor, hollowing of the lower abdomen, mula bandha. Drawing back of the navel towards the spine and lifting it slightly up, uddiyana bandha. Just keeping that tone light for now as we start to bring some power to those exhale breaths, connecting breath to the core of the body. Allowing the energizing inhale breath to just flood in. And releasing your hands down to the sides of the body and opening your eyes, keeping your gaze soft, but keeping that focus on your breathing rhythm. And to start to build the synchronicity of the movement to the breath. Half sun salutations. Inhaling, raising your arms up and looking up. Exhaling, folding forwards, bend the knees as you need, ribcage close to the thighs, crown of the head towards the floor. Inhaling to half forward bend with hands to shins. Exhaling, folding forwards again, release the back of the neck. Inhaling, rising to standing, arms reaching over the head as your feet ground down. Exhaling, take the whole of the exhale breath to come back to Tadasana, arms alongside the body. Inhaling, raising your arms up. Exhaling, folding forwards, engage the bandha as you fold, crown of the head towards the floor. Inhale to half forward bend, draw your shoulder blades back, broaden the collarbones. Exhaling, folding again, releasing the back of your neck, heavy head. Inhaling, grounding through the feet as you rise, arms reaching up. Exhaling, controlling the arms as they come back down, moving in time to your breath. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, half forward bend. Exhaling, full forward bend. Inhaling, rising up, grounding the feet, reaching the middle fingertips to the ceiling. Exhaling, bringing the arms down in synchronicity with that exhale breath. One more time, inhaling, raising your arms up. Exhaling, folding forwards, draw the navel in as you reach the top of the head for the floor. Inhale to half forward bend, back flat to the ceiling, shoulder blades back. Exhaling, folding again, ribcage close to the thighs. Inhaling, rising to standing, grounding the feet as you reach the fingertips up. Exhaling, bringing the arms down in time to that exhale breath. Starting to add some lunges, inhaling, raising the arms up. Exhaling, folding forward, sitting bones lift as the crown reaches down. Inhaling to half forward bend on fingertips, all hands to shins. Exhaling, stepping back into downward dog. Inhaling, lift the right leg high behind you. Exhaling, bring it through for crescent lunge. Round through the ball of the back foot. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, hands to the floor, back to downward dog. Inhaling, left leg lifts. Exhaling, bring it through to crescent lunge foot position. Inhaling, raising your arms up, ground through the ball of the back foot. Exhaling, hands to the floor, back to downward dog. Inhale, rock forwards to plank, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, through chaturanga, all the way to the belly, pointing your toes back. Gripping the fingertips in, inhale to low cobra, feel that you're pulling the hands back. Exhaling, chin to the floor. Inhaling, low cobra, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Exhaling, chin to the floor. Moving the hands back towards the waist. Inhale all the way to upward dog. Thighs hover. Exhale over the toes to down dog. Now the grounding action of your hands, pressing through the pads of the fingers, now to the thumbs, spiral the biceps as if you're trying to turn them towards the ceiling. And there's a slight feeling of turning the right hand clockwise, the left hand anti-clockwise. Push the front of the mat away as you lengthen through the side body and lift the sitting bones high towards the ceiling. Keep staying conscious of the rhythm of your breath, expansive inhales, and as you exhale, engaging the bandha. Navel draws in, lower abdomen hollows. Your next inhale, looking forwards between the thumbs, step or jump to half forward bend, either on fingertips or hands to shins. And exhale and fold ribcage close to the thighs, nice long neck. Inhale, rise to standing, round through the feet, reach up through the middle fingers. Exhaling, floating the arms down alongside the body with control in time to the breath. Still building the breathing rhythm, inhaling, raising the arms up. Exhaling, folding forwards. If you've got straight legs, lift the quadriceps, front thighs. Inhale to half forward bends. Exhale, stepping back into downward dog. Inhale, lift the right leg high behind you. Exhale, bring it through to crescent lunge. Inhale, raise the arms up, keep the front knee bent low. Exhale, hands back to the floor and back to downward dog. Inhale, lift the left leg high behind you. Exhale, bring it through for crescent lunge. Inhaling, pressing down through the ball of the back foot as you lift. Exhale, hands to the floor, back to downward dog. Inhale, rock forwards to plank. Exhale, lower through chaturanga onto the belly, point the toes back. Inhaling, low cobra, dig the fingertips in, pull the elbows back. Exhaling, chin to the floor. Inhale, low cobra, dig the fingertips in, pull the elbows back. Exhaling, chin to the floor. Hands alongside the lower ribs, press into the tops of the feet. Inhale to upward dog, collarbones broadening. Exhaling over your toes to downward dog, breathe. So looking towards the navel, and a grounding action through the hands, length from the hands to the hips. And think about grounding the feet, pressing through the balls of the feet and feeling like you're pulling the back of the mat towards the back of them. Maybe slightly lift the toes, even if the heels aren't down, or just create that action as you draw the skin up the front of the legs. So trying to lift the quadricep muscles, front thighs, if your legs are straight. Sense of drawing that front of the thigh bone back into the hip socket as you lift the sitting bones high. Keeping the focus on the rhythm of your breathing. Letting the jaws be soft. And looking forwards between your thumbs with an inhale breath, step or jump, half forward bend. Exhale and fold ribcage close to the thighs, reach the top of the head for the floor. Inhale, rise to standing, arms reach up, feet ground down. Exhale, arms back alongside the body, same pattern again, building your breathing rhythm. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, folding forwards, lift the sitting bones if the legs are straight. Inhale to half forward bend, draw your shoulder blades back. Exhale, stepping back into downward dog. Inhale, right leg lifts high behind you. Exhale, bring it through to crescent lunge. Press off the ball of the back foot. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, hands to the floor, back to downward dog. Inhale, left leg lifts high. Exhale, bring that through to lunge. Inhale, pressing down through the ball of the back foot, reach the middle fingertips high. Exhale, hands to the floor, back to downward dog. Inhale, rock forwards to plank. Exhale through chaturanga all the way to the belly, point the toes back. Gripping the fingertips in, inhale to low cobra, shoulder blades squeeze together. Exhale, chin to the floor. Inhaling to low cobra, feel like you're pulling the hands towards the back of the mat. Exhale, chin to the floor. Hands bulk alongside the lower ribs. Inhale to upward dog, thighs hover, hips draw forwards. Exhale, over the toes, downward dog. Breathing, looking towards the navel. Equal action of both hands pushing forwards. Equal action of both feet pulling back. Finding rhythm of your breath. Activating the exhale by drawing the navel in, maybe even cinching in the side waist. Taking full inhales into the side ribs, the upper back, right to the top of the chest, underneath the collarbones. Looking forwards between your thumbs with your next inhale, step or jump, half forward bend. Exhale, fold ribcage close to the thighs, nice long neck. Inhale, rise to standing, reach the middle fingertips for the ceiling. Exhale, float the arms back down alongside the body. Traditional Surya Namaskar, 2 times. Inhaling, raising the arms up. Exhaling, folding forwards, quadriceps lift, sitting bones lift. Inhale to half forward bend. Exhale, step or jump back to plank and lower chaturanga. Inhale onto the tops of the feet, upward dog. Exhale over the toes, downward dog. And again, finding your equanimous breath. Allowing the body to move with the breath. So as you take those expansive inhales, it might be that you're not quite as deep into the pose. And as you take the exhales, and you can rock the weight back a little bit further towards the heels. Just allowing the breath to subtly move your body. And with an inhale breath, looking forwards between the thumbs, step or jump, half forward bend. Exhale, fold, ribcage close to the thighs, nice long neck. Inhale, rising to standing, reach the middle fingertips up. Exhaling, floating the arms down with control, still timing it to the breath. Second time, Surya Namaskara, inhaling. Exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling to half forward bend. Exhaling, stepping or jumping back to plank and lower into chaturanga. Inhale, tops of the feet upward dog, draw the collarbones broad. Exhale, over the toes, downward dog, breathe. Looking down the tip of the nose towards the navel so that the back of your neck is nice and long. Feeling like the shoulder blades are broadening away from each other as you spiral the biceps forwards. Any action through the feet, so the legs are really active, the core is really active. We're equalizing that action of the hands and the feet. And looking forwards between your thumbs with an inhale breath, step or jump, half forward bend. Exhale and fold, ribcage close to the thighs, reach the top of the head for the floor. Inhale, rise to standing, reaching the arms up. Exhale and control the descent in time to the breath as you bring the arms down. Keeping the breathing rhythm as we move into our variations, inhaling, raising the arms up. Exhaling, folding forward, sitting bones lift, reach the top of the head down. Inhaling to half forward bends. And exhaling, stepping or jumping back into plank and holding it there. Rolling onto the outer edge of your right foot. Raise your left arm up. Stack the feet if you can. If it's too much to stay in the side plank position, so it's too much pressure on the wrist, you can always bring your right knee down to the floor. Whichever position that you're in, take the left arm over your ear. Keep pressing through the outer edge of the grounded foot towards the back of the mat. And stretch the left fingertips towards the front of the mat. Keep trying to lift the left hip higher towards the ceiling. Keeping a steady breath. And then rolling it to the other side. Left hand to the floor. Outer edge of the left foot grounds. Feet stack, arm up. Or left knee down and the outer edge of the right foot grounds. And bring the right arm forwards over your ear. Stretching out through that right side of the body. Lifting the right hip high as if you're trying to create a banana shape through the right side of the body. Taking your breath into that right side rib cage. And then back to your two-arm plank for a moment. We're going to take it from there into a four-arm plank. So side four-arm plank. Right arm is going to come through, down onto the forearm and roll onto the outer edge of your right foot. Raise the left arm up. Now keep pressing down through the right forearm, away through the outer edge of the right foot, and then lift your left leg up. Dorsiflex the toes on that foot. Feel like you're pressing the sole of the foot away towards the corner of the root. And then bring it down and roll to the other side forearm plank. Left arm, forearm down over to the outer edge of your left foot. Raise your right arm up. Keep pressing away through the outer edge of that foot and then raise your right leg. So we're getting into the outer hip muscles. As we make that leg lift, you're also having to use the outer hip muscles on the other side to stay supported. All right, bringing it down, come into a two-arm, four-arm plank with both of the forearms parallel to each other. Elbows underneath the shoulders. Press into the balls of the feet as you exhale, draw the navel in, cinch in the side waist. Feel like you're pressing the elbows out towards the side of the mat. One more inhale. Then exhale down onto the belly into a Sphinx pose. Press the tops of the feet down, press your pubic bone down. Pull the elbows back towards the back of the mat as you pull the chest forwards. Take an inhale. Then exhale back into a forearm plank. Take an inhale. Then exhale back onto your belly into Sphinx. Inhaling Sphinx, press into the tops of the feet, draw the elbows back. And exhale back into forearm plank. Inhale in forearm plank. And exhale back down onto your belly, point the toes back. Pull the elbows back in Sphinx. Take a couple of breaths there. Deep full inhales. As you exhale, activate the bandhas. And coming down onto the chin, next exhale breath. Hands alongside the lower ribs. Inhale all the way to upward dog. Exhale. Over the toes to downward dog. Inhale, lift your right leg in the air behind you. Turn and open that right hip out towards the side of the room. Bend the knee and hand the heel over towards your left buttock. Keep pressing forwards through both hands. Ground through the ball of the left foot and feel like you're trying to pull the ball of that left foot towards the back of the mat. Couple more breaths. And then re-straighten the right leg and return to square the hips towards the floor. So you're in a three-legged downward dog. Take an inhale there, then exhale and rock forwards to plank. Keeping the leg lifted. Inhale, stretch the toes for the wall behind you. Exhale, bring that right knee towards the upper right arm. Squeeze the right heel up towards your buttock. Hold it there for a breath. Then exhale, flick the right foot forwards between your hands. Turn the left heel to the floor, left toes out to the side, setting the feet up for warrior two position. Swing your outer right hip towards the midline of the mat. Reach the left arm forwards, draw a big arc up towards the ceiling and lift yourself up into warrior two. Pressing into the outer edge of the left foot. Bending the front knee low, take an inhale, stretch the fingertips to the opposite side of the room, and exhale, right middle fingertip towards the floor inside the right heel, left fingertips to the ceiling. Inhale, bring it back up to warrior two. Exhale, take it back down, windmilling the arms, making the shoulder blades stacked. Inhale, lift it back up. Exhale, take it back down again. This time holding it there. Press the right arm back against the inside of the right knee. Squeeze the right knee in onto the arm. Turn the chest a little bit more. Bring the left arm forwards over your ear. Now keep bending the front knee low. Keep pressing into the outer edge of the left foot. Extend those left fingertips towards the joint between the ceiling and the wall in front of your mat. And inhale, bring it back up to warrior two, holding it there, taking it into Trikonasana by straightening the front leg, and then taking the right hand to the outside of your right calf, or down to the floor as long as you can keep the shoulder blades stacked. Press into the outer edge of your left foot. As you press forwards through the front heel, feel like you're drawing the right quadriceps back and the right thigh bone back into the hip socket. One more inhale breath, stretch the left fingertips for the ceiling, then bending the front knee, bring the hands to the floor, step it back into downward dog. Inhale, rock forwards to plank. Exhale to chaturanga. Inhale, tops of the feet, upward dog. Exhale, over the toes, downward dog. Inhale, left leg in the air, open the left hip out towards the side of the room. Bending the knee, take the heel over towards the opposite buttock. Press forwards with both hands. Press back towards the back of the mat with the ball of the right foot grounding. Couple of breaths. And then re-straighten your left leg, square the hips towards the floor in three-legged dog. So you can inhale and then exhale forwards to plank with the leg lifted. Inhale, stretch the toes for the back wall. Exhale, bring that left knee towards your upper left arm. Squeeze it in. Take another inhale breath. Then exhale, left foot forwards between the hands. Bring your right heel to the floor, turning the toes to the side. Swing the outer left hip back towards the midline of the mat. Reach the right arm forwards towards the front of the mat. Draw a circle arc up to the ceiling and come up into warrior two. Pressing into the outer edge of your right foot. Bending the front knee low. Inhale the right arm back, stretch the chest open. Exhale, left middle fingertip towards the inside of the heel. Inhale, coming back up, warrior two. Exhale, bringing it back down, shoulder blades stacked. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, bring it back down and hold it there. Still pressing into the outer edge of the right foot. Press the left arm back against the inside of that left thigh. And then press that left thigh into the arm. And turn the chest more. And right arm forwards over the ear. Keep the front knee bent, diagonal line, all the way from that left heel to the right fingertips. One more inhale, one more exhale. And inhale back to warrior two and straighten your front leg. Exhale into Trikonasana triangle. So left hand could be on the outside of that left calf, if that means your shoulder blades are still stacked, or down to the floor. But you don't want your chest to turn towards the floor. Want shoulder blades stacked in a vertical line on top of each other, wherever the left hand ends up to achieve that. Pressing into the outer edge of your right foot. Press forward through the left heel. Feel like you're drawing the left quadriceps up and sucking that thigh bone back into the hip socket. One more inhale breath. Then bend the front knee, hands to the floor. Exhale yourself back into downward dog. Your inhale, rock forwards to plank. Exhale, come all the way down onto the belly and take your arms back. Press into the tops of the feet, palms are on the floor. Press the pubic bone down towards the floor, lift the front heads of the shoulders, the chest and the chin. And press the hands down into the floor. As you press the hands down into the floor, the back muscles, lower back muscles will engage a little bit more. And as you exhale, try and cinch in your side waist. And get the glutes to activate by pressing the pubic bone down towards the floor. One more inhale breath. Then exhale, chin to the floor, hands alongside the lower ribs. Inhale, coming into upward dog. Exhale, over your toes, downward dog, and again find the rhythm of your breath. To get the full extension through the hamstrings and the calves, so back of the legs. And feel like you're lifting the toes. And if your legs are straight, you're drawing the front thigh muscles up. And particularly thinking about activating Mula Bandha as you do that, so hollowing out the lower abdomen. And try and keep steady rhythm of breath. And looking forwards between your thumbs with an inhale breath, step or jump, half forward bend. Exhale and fold, bring the ribcage close to the thighs, top of the head towards the floor. Then bending your knees, sitting into chair pose. Inhale, raise your arms up. Holding it in chair. If you've got your feet apart, shuffle them towards each other so you can squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Squeeze the inner thighs towards each other, lift your toes off the floor and try and sit down lower. Inhale, try and lift your fingers higher. Then try and bring the palms together. Squeeze the inner thighs at the same time as you're squeezing the palms. Bring the hands into prayer in front of your chest. Take an inhale, lift the chest. Then exhale, sit down through a squat and come into bent knee Navasana. Squeeze the inner thighs towards each other and you can flex the toes back. Feel like you're lifting the chest and drawing the shoulder blades onto the back. Then separate the knees and bring your arms in between the legs. So inside of your big toe and inside of the heel are still in contact with each other. Squeeze the knees in onto the arms. Again, those inner thigh muscles active. And keep the right knee squeezing in and extend your left leg, hover the heel off the floor. Keep flexing the toes back, trying to get some engagement through the quadricep of that thigh, and then bring it back in, and then take the other side. So right leg is extending, left knee is trying to squeeze in onto the arm, flexing the right toes back, and bring it back in. Squeeze both knees in onto the arms. Take the arms out to the sides. Then right arm to the outside of your left leg, left arm out to the side. Extend that right leg forwards again, flex the toes back. Keep drawing the right shoulder blade down the back. Bring it back in, over to the other side. Left arm to the outside of that right thigh, right arm out to the side. Keep pressing in, drawing the left shoulder blade down the back. And extend that left leg, flex the toes back. Bring it back to the center, both hands around the outside. Get the palms to face each other and then straighten your legs. Keep the toes at the same height as your nose. Squeeze the legs towards each other. And bring them back in. Bend the knees, cross the legs, rock forwards over the legs and step yourself back into a plank pose. Over onto the outer edge of the right foot. Stack the feet, raise your left arm up and raise the left leg up. So we've done it once on the forearm, a little bit more balance required to do it on a straight arm. Bring it down, take it over onto the left side, right arm up, raise the right leg, pressing into the outer edge of that left foot as you do. Bring it down and rock back over to the other side, but then bring your right knee down to the floor. The right knee's down to the floor. Now that left arm still facing up. And you might want to try and walk that right knee back towards your hand, but only so long as you can keep the left foot grounded. All right, so wherever you end up, that's fine with the knee. So it's going to be a little bit higher, more extreme on the hip if the knee's closer to the hand. So keep your balance, press into the right shin, lift your left leg up. Lift it as high as it's going to go. Then bend your knee and reach over with that left hand and try and grab the ankle. Once you grab the ankle, keep the heel away from your buttock towards the back of the room, not towards the ceiling. You're trying to kick it back behind you. One more inhale breath. Then release it. Bring that foot down to the floor and then take it back into a two-armed plank for a moment. And then over to the other side and bend your left knee, bring the foot to the shin to the floor. Right heel's pretty much lined up with the left knee. You can shuffle that knee further towards the hand if you want to get a little bit more height. Raise your right arm up. Then raise the right leg up. Hold it there for a second. And bend the knee. See if you can reach over and grab that foot. So if you can't grab the foot, just bend the knee and squeeze the heel in towards the buttock. If you do grab the foot, kick the foot into the hand, kicking the heel away from the buttock, kicking it back behind you, not towards the ceiling. So you're opening the chest out towards that right side of the mat. One more inhale breath. And then you sit, bring that foot back down to the floor and take yourself back into your two-arm plank. Take an inhale in two-arm plank. Then exhale and come all the way down onto your belly. Point your toes back, stretch your arms forwards. So press into the tops of the feet, press your pubic bone down towards the floor, and then lift both arms up and take them out into a V shape. So you're reaching for the corners of the room. You're trying to press the pubic bone down. And making a fist. Draw the elbows back, make a W shape with the arms. Back to a V, back to a W. Back to a V, back to a W. Back to a V, back to a W, and then hands down alongside the lower ribs. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale over your toes into downward dog. Inhale your right leg high in the air behind you. Press down through the ball of your left foot. Feel like you're pulling the ball of that left foot back towards the back of the mat. Keep reaching the right toes as high as you can towards the ceiling. Then rock it forwards into a plank with the leg lifted. Reaching the toes for the back wall with an inhale breath. Exhale, bring that right knee towards your upper right arm. Squeeze the heel up towards the buttock. Take another breath there. Then next exhale, flick that foot forwards between your hands. And then shuffle back a bit, because I always crash into the wall when I do this. So I'm going to take it into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. So if you need to grab a block or a book, you can. Right hand's going to reach forwards, left leg's going to lift, turning the chest out towards that left side of the room. Now you might get the palm on the floor, or it might be the fingertips, or you might have your hand on a block. Activate the lifted leg. Feel like you're trying to press the sole of the foot back into the wall behind you. Once you're stable, left arm reaches up. If you feel like you want to take it a little bit further,
So we've just done a similar action with our knee down on the floor. You can bend that left leg, reach for the ankle, and then kick the foot back into the hand. Keep engaging the standing leg, steady breath. And if you grab the ankle, release it, reach that foot back, bend your front knee, and everybody take it back into warrior two. Inhale, extend the arms apart. Exhale, bring the right hand down to the floor inside the right foot. Sweep the left arm forwards over your ear. Now you might be staying here. Those of you who want to go for the bind, take the right arm underneath the leg. Take the hand to the outside of the right hip. And take the left hand down the back and grab the wrist or grab the hand. Once you're there, press that right shoulder back against the inside of the leg. Press the hands against that outer right hip and try and stack the shoulder blades. Turn your gaze to the ceiling. Keep pressing into the outer edge of your left foot. And if you've got the bind, release it. Come back to join everybody else who didn't take the bind. Left arm reaching forwards. And then everybody hands to the floor. Step back into downward dog. Take a couple of breaths in downward dog. Then inhale, lift your left leg in the air behind you. Press through the ball of the right foot. Feel like you're trying to pull it towards the back of the mat. Lift the left toes as high as you can towards the ceiling. One more inhale. Then exhale forwards to a plank with the leg lifted. Inhale, reach the toes for the back of the room. Exhale, bring that left knee towards the upper left arm. Squeeze it in. Take another breath. Then exhale, foot forwards into a lunge. And there, grabbing the block as you need it, coming to Ardha Chandrasana. Left hand reaches forwards. Right leg lifts up. When you're stable, right arm up. So dorsiflex the right foot, feel like you're pressing it back towards the wall behind you. And if you want to take it further, bend the knee, grab the ankle, kick the foot up into the hand. So now you can kick it up towards the ceiling as well as trying to take it back. If you've got the foot, release it. Everybody bend your front knee, take it back to a warrior two position. Inhale in warrior two. Exhale, left hand down to the floor inside the heel. Take the right arm forwards over the ear, Parshvakonasana. So you can either hold it here or take that left arm under the leg, left hand to the outside of the left hip, grabbing the right hand behind the back. Once you've grabbed it, try and stack the shoulder blades. So you're using the hands to try and draw that outer left hip towards the midline of the mat. Keep grounding into the outer edge of your right foot. Then binders, release it, bring the right arm forwards to join everybody else again in Parshvakonasana, and then hands to the floor. Step it back into downward dog. Breathe. And then rock forwards to plank. Take an inhale in plank. Then exhale through chaturanga all the way down onto the belly. Move your hands back towards the lower ribs and feel the connection of the mound of the thumb into the floor. Push forwards through the heels of the hands and start to feel the shoulder blades moving back and the elbows moving towards your waist. Press into the tops of your feet and engage the legs. Press your pubic bone down towards the floor. And with a deep, full inhale breath, peel yourself up into a high cobra. So your elbows are still bent rather than the arms being straight. Thighs are still down on the floor. Hug the elbows in towards the side waist. Broaden across your collarbones. Keep pushing forwards through the hands. And then bend your knees and bring your heels in towards your buttocks. Squeeze them in. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Good. Release them. Press the tops of the feet down into the floor, lift the chest, keep squeezing the elbows in, and then slowly with an exhale, roll back down through the front of the body, chin to the floor. Take a breath, and ground again through the mound of the thumb, press forward through the heels of the hands, feel the shoulder blades move down the back and the elbows towards the waist. Listen to the tops of the feet, pubic bone down, and then peel up again with a deep inhale breath back into your high cobra. Hold it there, and then lift feet, squeeze the heels in towards the buttocks. Keep broadening across the collarbones. Keep squeezing the elbows in. Really squeeze the heels in towards the buttocks. Then release it. Feet back down to the floor, press into the tops of the feet, and roll back down. Coming down onto the chin. Take a breath there. And then hands might move back even further towards the waist. Press into the tops of the feet, press the hands forwards, peel all the way to an upward dog. Feel like you're drawing your hip bones forwards towards the front of the mat as you press the feet down. And roll over the toes. And come back into downward dog. Breathe. Finding your breathing rhythm, deep full breaths, pushing the front of the mat away, lifting the sit bones high. Grounding through the balls of the feet, feeling like you're pulling back of the mat towards the back of the room. And inhale, lift your right leg high behind you. Exhale and bring it straight through to a lunge. Now bring the left knee down to the floor. Left palm down to the floor. Point the left toes back. And feel like you're trying to walk that left foot slightly further towards the back of the mat. And bend the knee again, bring the heel towards the buttock. Take the right hand back behind you and grab that foot. If you can't quite grab the foot, keep squeezing the heel in towards the buttock and reaching back with the arm. Otherwise, grab the foot, and once you've grabbed the foot, kick the foot back into the hand, but turn the chest forwards. Kick the foot back into the hand, turn the chest forwards, breathe. And briefly release it. Just gently reaching it down to the floor and bring your right arm to the inside of your left leg. Connect the right shoulder back against that knee. And then bend the left leg again. And this time take the right hand back and grab the foot from the outside. And now kick the foot back into the hand and turn the chest towards the left. And then release that down. Both hands staying to the inside of your right leg. Tuck the left toes under, lift the left knee off the floor. So find where you can actually get a grounding through that left foot. And see if you can walk that right arm underneath the right leg. Bring the hand to the floor outside the foot. Squeeze the right leg in onto the arm. And then even if it's in your imagination, try and lift the right foot off the floor and point it towards the front of the room. Squeeze it in. Then swing it back behind you and come into downward dog. Take a couple of breaths in downward dog. Lift your left leg up in the air. Deep inhale breath, lift it. Exhale, rock forwards to plank with the leg lifted. Inhale, reach the toes for the back ball. Exhale, take that left knee towards the upper left arm. I think I added something extra in here, didn't I? And then flick that left foot forwards between your hands and bring your right knee down to the floor. Start pointing the toes back. Walk that foot back a little bit back behind you. Right palm down to the floor. And bend your right knee, bring the heel towards the buttock. And take the left arm round and see if you can grab the foot on the outside. Or the inside if the outside is not quite reachable. So if you do grab the foot, then you're kicking the foot away. If you didn't grab the foot, you're squeezing the heel in and reaching back. Either way is going to get some activation going on. So if you do grab the foot, kick it into the hand, but turn the chest forwards. Deep, full breaths, keep your breathing rhythm. And briefly and gently releasing that side, bring the left hand to the inside of the left foot and connect the shoulder back against the knee. Rebend the right knee, reach back and grab hold of the foot. And now kick that foot back into the hand if you can and turn the chest out towards the right side of the room. Now you've got to do some work with that left foot grounding to keep you in the balance at the same time. Kick the foot back, open the chest, breathe. Then release it. Hands back down to the floor, tuck the right toes under. And it's such a position that you can ground through the ball of that foot, and then see if you can take the left arm underneath the left leg. Squeeze your left thigh back onto the left arm, and then see if you can lift the foot. Even if it's in your imagination, keep squeezing the left leg onto the arm, and then swing it back behind you, and come back into downward dog. Taking an inhale in downward dog, extending the heels back and down towards the floor. And inhale, rock forwards to plank. Exhale, come down onto your belly, point your toes back. Now take the arms back behind you. You've got the arms in the air, press into the tops of the feet, press the pubic bone down into the floor, lift the chest, chin, keep reaching the hands back behind you, broaden and open across the collarbones, squeeze your shoulder blades together. One more inhale, then exhale, chin down to the floor. Bend your knees, reach back, see if you can take hold of your feet from the inside. If that's too much for the shoulders, hold on to the feet from the outside. Either inside or outside, shoulders rolling back. And press your pubic bone down towards the floor, let the front heads of the shoulders, chest, chin lift. Draw your navel back towards the spine, see if it will lift a little bit more. Then start to keep the feet back into the hands, trying to kick the chest open and lift the chest. And then finally, try and kick the toes up towards the ceiling. Deep, full breaths. Each exhale, try and draw your navel in, cinch in the sideways, keep kicking, keep breathing. And then release it. Bring the feet back down to the floor, hands alongside the lower ribs. Press into the tops of the feet. Inhale all the way to upward dog. Exhale. Over the toes, downward dog. Breathe, few deep breaths. And looking forwards between your thumbs with an inhale breath. Step or jump, half forward bend. Exhale and fold rib cage close to the thighs. Sitting into Utkatasana. Inhale, raise the arms up. And exhale, hands to prayer and come back to Tadasana, front of your mat. Ground through the feet, lengthen the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Broaden across your collarbones. Slide the skin of the back down towards your heels. And lift the right knee up in front of you. Bring the left hand to the waist. First two fingers between your right big toe and the second toe, or hand onto the right shin. So right hand, right foot, or right hand, right shin, whichever one you want to go for. And then lengthen that leg, but keep your vertical line. So if the knee stays bent, that's fine. Keep lifting the chest, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. And then whether you've got the shin or you've got the extended leg, take it out to the right side. Keep lifting the chest, keep drawing the shoulder blades down. Strong standing leg. And bring it back to the center. Keep the leg lifted, let go with the hands. Sorry about my filthy feet. I've been out walking in flip-flops and I haven't washed my feet. All right, so lower the leg, but don't bring it to the floor. Take it out to the right side, then square the hips behind you and lift the leg up behind you. Don't bring your hands to the floor unless you fall over. But if you do want to bring your hands to the floor to steady yourself, then you can. Or stay in that warrior three position, broadening across the collarbones, engaging the muscles on the standing leg, quadriceps, and then reaching the right toes back. Then elegantly coming back to standing in front of the mat. All right, over to the left side, picking up the left big toe or the left shin. Find a really strong base through your standing leg. Engage the quadriceps, the front thigh muscles, broaden the chest, keep a long neck, reach the crown for the ceiling. Once you've got all that going on, toe holders, extend your leg. And then everybody, whether you're holding shin or toe, take it out to the side.
Good, nice everybody. And don't worry if you wobble about a bit, bring it back to the center, let go of the foot, hand to the hip. Hold it there for a second, then lower it and sweep it out to the side with control. Bring it back in behind you to square the hips and then use the lifting foot to pivot forwards. Keep lifting the toes towards the back wall, broadening across the collarbones. Imagine you're in a back bend, but you're balancing on that leg. And if you want to bring the hands to the floor, you can. If you do bring the hands to the floor, you might want to take it more into a standing split. So use the lifting leg to tip the rib cage closer to the standing leg thigh. But keep working on straightening your standing leg. That's it, nice. And then elegantly bringing it back up, coming to standing at the front of the mat, bring your hands back into prayer in front of the chest. Just take a moment into Tadasana and find your breath, find your balance. Right. And now turning the front head of the shoulder open, turning your palm out so the thumb's facing back. Pick up your right foot from the inside. So you're picking up at the ankle. Squeeze the thighs in towards each other. Draw your navel in, lift the chest. Raise your left arm up. And we're coming into a dancer's pose. So stretch the left fingertips for the ceiling, strong grounding through your standing leg, and start to kick the heel away from the buttock, but without tipping forwards. So get your maximum kick of the heel away from the buttock. Once you've got that, maintain that and pivot on that left hip. So now the abdomen is coming down pretty parallel to the floor. Your left thumb is still trying to lift for the ceiling, and that right foot is kicking as hard as it can back into the hand. Now to kick the toes for the ceiling. Good, and then bring that steadily and gracefully like a dancer back to your standing position. Take a breath, and then turn the left palm open, so you're kicking the thumb back and pick up the left foot from the inside. Or the outside if the elbow or the shoulder don't like the inside. Get a good grounding on the standing leg. Bring the thighs towards each other so they're in line. Draw your navel in, lift and broaden the chest. Raise your right arm up. They're like really stretching the fingertips to the ceiling. So the more extension you get through the side body, the more solid you're going to be in the pose. Start the kick, but don't tip forwards until you've got your maximum kick of the heel away from the buttock. And then once you've got the maximum kick, then tip. Yeah. These are good. Don't forget the arm. Keep really powerful extension through the fingertips, like you're trying to get lightning to shoot out of those fingertips. If you fall out, get back in. And just go through the whole motion again. Yeah, that's it. Good. Keep breathing. Keep an eye on your breath. Rhythm of breath. So the more intense the pose, the more the breathing rhythm tends to get thrown out. You're trying to work back to that breathing rhythm. All right, now release it. Come back to the front of the mat. Hands back into a prayer position and step your feet out. So that the feet are at a 45-degree angle, your toes are probably hanging off the end of your mat. Take an inhale there and then sit down into a squat. So coming into Malasana, arms in between the knees, try and get them as low as you can go so the knees are up towards the shoulders. And bring the thumbs back to make contact with the chest and squeeze the mouths of the thumbs towards each other so the upper arms press out into your inner thighs. Lengthen the tailbone towards the floor, the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Breathe into your belly a few deep breaths. Then take the hands out of the center. Take the hands down behind your back. Sit down and extend the legs out so they're coming into Upavishta Konasana position. Extend through your heels, balls of the feet, flex the toes back and feel like you're pressing your inner thighs down towards the floor. And keep the fingertips alongside the hips and fold forwards. So you're keeping the collarbones broad. So you're coming as far forwards as you can without hunching the shoulders around the neck. Once you think you've come as far forwards as you think you're going to go, change the hands and bring them in front, but still don't hunch the shoulders around your neck. So we're keeping the collarbones broad. Reactivate your legs, press the inner thighs down towards the floor. Steady breath. You might grip your fingertips into the floor and then feel like you're pulling the floor towards you. So it's like you're pulling your chest forwards as if you're trying to get the chest to travel through the hands. Pulling the hands back. Good. And walk it back up a little bit. Turn and look towards your left toes. See if you can get that left elbow down towards the floor inside your leg. Left elbow's down on the floor. You're sort of leaning over to the side. Then reach over with your fingers and grab your big toe. See if you can get that. If you don't get the big toe, hold on to the shin somewhere. That's holding over. And if you've got the big toe easily, walk the hand to the outside of that left foot. And you can pull on the foot and try and draw the elbow to the ceiling and look underneath your arm if you've got the outside of the foot. Otherwise, just stay with the side forward bend. Those of you who have grabbed the outside of the foot and lifting the elbow up, you can also press your left elbow down into the floor and against the inner thigh to get a little bit more turn. All right, release that. Sweep yourself around to the other side. So right elbows trying to come down inside that right thigh. Then left hand reaches over, grabs the big toe. You're either going to press into the big toe and just try and draw yourself over towards that leg. Same thing if you're holding the ankle, or if you can reach to the outside of the foot and feel like you're turning the chest, trying to look underneath your armpit. And press that right elbow down into the floor and the right arm back against the inside of the right leg as you turn. Keep breathing into the left side rib cage. And then release it. Come back into the center and bring your left foot over towards the middle of the mat. So left foot's coming over, bent knee, knee is coming out. And bring your right knee in towards the chest and interlace your fingers around that right foot. Extend the leg. So feel like you're trying to keep your rib cage in contact with that right thigh. Press the ball of the foot up towards the ceiling and bend the elbows and try and grip them around your shin. Keep kicking the foot up towards the ceiling. And release it. And as you release it, try and bring the heel onto the top of the left knee. So you're stacking the legs and stacking the shins on top of each other just as much as you can. Press into your sit bones, lift and broaden the chest and take a couple of breaths there. All right, so then take that leg out, put it underneath the left one, and then interlace your fingers around that left foot. So you're bringing the knee in towards the chest. So apart from the people who I can't see because I can see you ceiling, I think you're all doing all right. So press into your sit bones and feel like you're trying to get your left nipple on top of that left knee so you're nice and tall. And then start to extend the leg and try and keep the thigh as close to the chest as you can. It might separate. So you do extend the heel up, extend through the ball of the foot, flex the toes back and try and hug those elbows in around your shin. Good. And then release it. And as you do, bring the heel over towards that right knee and stack and try and bring the left knee down towards your right foot. Press into the sit bones, lift the chest. All right, good. Then release it. Roll over your crossed legs if you can, or take the knees out to the side if that's too much for the knees, and step yourself back into down dog. Lift the right leg up behind you, and then bring that through to a lunge. Once you're through to the lunge, rotate so that the toes are facing towards the long side of your mat.
So you're coming into a wide-legged forward bend position. Toes are facing towards that long side of the mat. Outer edges of the feet are parallel to the ends of the mat. Bring your palms down to the floor. Shoulder width distance. Sit bones are lined up with the heels not pressing towards the back of the room, so walk the hands forwards as much as you need to. Ground into the outer edges of your feet and press those heels out towards the side of the mat. Feel like you're splaying your buttocks apart and lifting the sit bones towards the ceiling. And start to walk the hands through the legs, bringing the heels of the hands so that they're lining up pretty much with the heels of the feet. So, or if you can't get your, keep your palms down for that, then don't worry about taking the hands so far back. Or if you can keep the palms down but bend the knees slightly, do it that way. But keep the palms fully planted and the elbows at shoulder width distance. If you can get your head down on the floor, then get your head down onto the floor. Feel like you're trying to turn your right hand slightly clockwise and your left one slightly anti-clockwise. So you're grounded through both the feet and your hands. Then walk the hands back forwards. Once you've come back forwards, either turn the heels in or the toes out, whichever way that feels most comfortable. So the toes are facing towards the corners of your mat, 45-degree angle. And bend your right knee and walk the hands over towards the inside of that right foot. As you do, come up onto the center of the heel of your left foot, lift the sole of the foot off the floor and turn your left toes towards the ceiling. So you can stay supported on your hands, or if you feel comfortable, lift the hands off the floor, get that right shoulder on the inside of your right knee, wrap the arm around the back of the leg, take the left arm behind your back and grab the left wrist. Hands can stay on the floor otherwise. And make sure you're activating your left leg by pressing the heel into the floor and trying to pull the heel towards your right heel. You're pulling that heel over towards the right side of the mat. And release it if you've got the bind. Then take it over the other way. So replant the left sole of foot, left toes towards the left corner of the mat. Walk yourself over, straightening the right leg, bending the left leg. Come up onto the heel of that right leg, flex the toes back. And if you can, lift the hands off the floor, wrap that left arm around the shin. Take the hand behind the back, take the right hand behind the back. And turn the chest as if you're trying to turn it towards the ceiling using your bind. Press the right heel into the floor and pull that right heel over towards the left side of the mat. And releasing that. Walk yourself back over to the center. Keep the toes pointing out towards the corners of the mat. Come up onto your fingertips. Press the outer edges of your feet down into the floor. Try and stay connected through the whole of the ball of the foot. Feel the power up the outside of the legs. Lift your hands up to the inside of your thighs. Arms, that is forearms. Press the forearms back into the thighs. Feel like you're trying to take the knees, the outer knees towards the back of your mat. Keep pressing through the outer edges of your feet. Bring your hands into prayer in front of your chest. Bring your pubic bone forwards. Bring your shoulder blades back. Keep pressing into the outer edges of the feet and feeling now like you're trying to pull both ends of the mat out towards the side of the room. Keep moving the pubic bone forwards, lengthen the crown of the head for the ceiling, lengthen the tailbone towards the floor. Steady breath. And rock that back forwards, hands to the floor. Turn the toes so they're facing back towards the front of the mat. And first two fingers between big toe and second toe. Clamp the fingers to the floor with your big toes. Bend the knees if you need to. And pull up on the toes, draw your chest forwards, the shoulders back. And bending your elbows out to the sides, top of the head down towards the floor, draw the shoulder blades down your back. If you've got straight legs, spiral the inner thighs back, lift the sitting bones to the ceiling. Heels are pressing down into the floor and pressing out towards the side of the mat. Good. And release it, straighten the arms, lift the chest. And start to turn again towards the front of the mat. So your right foot is going to start to turn forwards and you're coming into a lunge position. I'm just swapping legs because I turn around on my mat. So right foot forwards, bring your left knee down to the floor, point your left toes back. Now if you've got blocks and you want to use them, you can. We're going to go into Hanumanasana or forward splits. So your forward split might look something like this. You're going to be lifting that right sole of the foot off the floor and you're going to rock back like that. So it could be that you're like this in your forward split. If you can take it further, you can slide that right heel forwards or walking forwards. My mat's really sticky. I'm sliding forwards and support the weight on your hands. So only take it as far as you can take it. So, you know, forward split is a forward split no matter how deep it is. Once you've come to your maximum, press the right heel into the floor and pull that right heel towards the back of the mat. So if you're pretty low into a split, pull the left shin forwards at the same time. So you might not then be as deep in your split, but you're engaging the muscles that you're lengthening and you're bringing the hips into a much healthier position. So pulling the right heel back, pulling the left shin forwards, no matter how deep you are in the split. Good. All right. And draw that right heel back in and take it back into all fours position. Step your left foot straight forwards from there. Walk the right foot as far back as it's going to go. Then come up onto that left heel and rock the sitting bones back. Flex the left toes towards your nose. And then if you can get that foot forwards, then do. So I often find that getting the mat out of the way and using either your wooden floor, your tiled floor, or your carpet is an easier way to slide if you're going to slide into your split. Support the weight on the hands. And press into that left heel, flex the toes back and try and pull the foot towards the back of the mat. So right shin will probably be falling forwards and you may not be as deep in your pose. You'll certainly feel more sensation as the muscles that are lengthening are also engaging, building some beautiful lean, long muscles, loads of strength. Let release that. Draw that foot back in, come back to your all fours position. Now as you're on all fours, just have a little wiggle around. Let's wiggle through the hips. Let's loosen everything up. So we've been engaging all of the muscles around the hips. So we've worked ourselves through the engagement of back of hip, front of hip, side of hip. But we've also been lengthening all of those muscles as well. Forward bending, backward bending, a bit of extension into the side hips. All right, so transferring yourself onto your back. As we've done quite a bit of lengthening through the front of the hips and a bit of strengthening through the back of the hips, we're going to do a little bit of back bending to finish. So you can choose which back bends you're going to do. We're all going to do a bridge to start. So heels a little bit wider than your hips, outside edges of your feet parallel to the sides of the mat. So you can see your heels down the sides of the hips and the heels as close to the sit bones as you can get. And press into the feet and lift the back of the pelvis off the floor. And then think about the orientation of your pelvis. So you're trying to get the hip bones. So the pelvis you're trying to get to tilt backwards, which is a difficult thing to define when you're lying down. So that means the pubic bones lifting and the tailbones lengthening towards your knees. So if the pelvis tilts backwards, then the lower back's already, the spine in conjunction with the pelvis, is already going to start tipping backwards, which is going to take you further into a back bend. All right, so get that feeling that you're lifting the pubic bone to the ceiling, lengthening your tailbone towards the knees. Then press into the upper arms, and if you can interlace the fingers underneath the body, do. Roll onto the skin at the outside of your upper arms if you've interlaced. Keep pressing into the feet, lifting the pubic bone, and press the upper arms down into the floor. Don't forget to breathe. Steady breaths through your nose. Now try and pull your feet towards the back of the mat. So that will engage the buttocks a little bit more, back of the hips engaging. And then release that action and slowly roll yourself down, taking the hands apart, sliding the skin of the arms out from underneath you. And once you land on the floor, taking a breath there. Softening the belly, softening around the hips. All right, so you're either going to repeat that bridge pose, or you're going to start off by coming up into the bridge, and then take the hands out alongside your ears. You can turn your fingers slightly outwards, and you can take the hands reasonably wide. So you could take the hands so that the fingers are a little bit off the mat. That might give you some more space. So it's up to you if you want to do that. So once you're there up onto the top of the head, you might even want the hands back a little bit more towards the feet then, and then lift it up. Up to you. Bridge or wheel. So see how you go. I'll come into bridge first. And if you're staying in bridge, interlace the fingers and get that action again of trying to get the pelvis to tilt backwards, which means the pubic bone lifting and the tailbone lengthening towards the knees. If you're going into wheel, come up onto the top of the head first. And then lift up from there. If you are in wheel, because there's many of you, I can't really see what's going on. But if you are in wheel, then try that action of pulling the feet back towards the hands. Just a little bit. Wherever you are, whenever you're ready to come down, come down. And if you were up in wheel, tuck your chin in as you come down so that you... Now, don't be in a hurry to hug your knees in towards your chest. Let everything soften in a neutral spine position with your knees bent first. Generally, we don't want to go straight from spinal extension to spinal flexion. So neutral spine with the back of the pelvis on the floor is quite nice. And then if you do want to hug the knees in towards the chest, you can hug the knees in towards the chest. As you hug the knees in, try not to be too forceful. So you're just letting the weight of the hands rest on the front of the shins. Breathe into the back of your body. Feel like you're spreading your back into the floor. And then release your feet down to the floor. I'm going to take a yin pose, cat catching its tail. I lift the right leg up and reach up with your left hand, grab the ankle. Then bring that right foot over to the outside of your left thigh and onto the floor. Roll over to the left side and shuffle your hips slightly further back towards what is now the long back of your mat. Then bending your left knee, lift the foot off the floor and reach down with your right hand. See if you can grab it. If you don't grab it, it's fine. You can just bring the foot down and the hand back down to the floor. Once you've grabbed, both shoulder blades back down onto the floor. So you're pinning the right sole of foot to the floor by holding on with your left hand. And the outer edge of your left foot holding on with your right hand. Or you're just casually bending that left leg and having the right arm wherever you want it. Shoulder blades back onto the floor. Feel like you're taking your outer right thigh towards the front of the mat and creating more distance between your right hip bone and your right lowest rib. Take some deep breaths down into your belly. And those of you who are fond of a bit more sensation and want to get a bigger stretch into that outer right hip, rock slightly over to the left again and reach the left hand down to take the outside of your right foot. And then extend your right leg out towards the left side of the mat. There you are, creating a straight leg. Then shuffle your shoulder blades as much as you can back down to the floor. It's not essential to do this leg straightening bit, by the way. It's just a little bit of extra for those of you who feel like it's available and would quite enjoy that stretch. And then bending your right knee, if you straighten the leg, draw that foot back in. Let go with both hands and unravel yourself. Bring the back of the pelvis back down to the floor. And lift the left leg up, reach up with the right hand, grab that ankle and guide that foot over to the outside of your right thigh. Sole of the foot on the floor. And roll to the right slightly, shuffle the hips slightly back. Pick up the right foot and grab it with the left hand if you can, and then come back, shoulder blades onto the floor. If you didn't grab the foot, then wherever you want to go with the arm and that foot is absolutely fine. So the key thing that we're getting a stretch for is the outer left hip in this instance. The grabbing of the right foot is not going to make any difference to that really. And taking that outer left thigh towards the front of the mat and trying to create a bit of distance between the left hip bone and the left lowest rib. And then if you had grabbed your right foot with the left hand and you want to take it a bit further in the stretch, then right hand goes to the outer edge of that left foot and extend the left leg out to the right side of the mat. And try and draw the shoulder blades back down to the floor. If you've extended the leg, rebend it, bring it back in, and then wherever you are, releasing the feet, with the hands rolling back onto your back, center of the mat with your knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor. Just line up the shoulders directly above the hips. And then either you can walk the feet forwards and still keep the knees bent, let the knees knock in towards each other and be in a bent knee shavasana. Or extend the legs fully, whichever one is your preference. If you do have a particular fondness for Supta Baddha Konasana, so the soles of the feet together with the knees out to the side, that's also an option, but only choose that option if it's a completely relaxing position for you to be in. So any strain of the inner groins, go for something a little bit more benign. Once you've chosen your leg position, press into the back of your head, lift your shoulder blades off the floor, draw the skin of the back down, and then replant those shoulder blades so that the mat grips the skin and broadens the shoulder blades into the floor. Lengthen the top of the head towards the back of the mat so the chin comes slightly in and the back of your neck lengthens. Then take 3 or 4 deep breaths down into your abdomen, and each time you exhale those breaths, feel like you're fully surrendering the body weight into the floor. Relax the jaw bones away from each other, let the tongue soften in the mouth, let your brow broaden, the skin around your eyes soften, and your gaze turn inwards towards the center of the skull, the third eye, Ajna chakra, place of higher awareness, and anchor your focus once more to the flow of your breathing. Nothing to do for the next 2 minutes, but breathe.